Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. We're going to go ahead and do an updated gameplay review of Avalon the game where we're going to walk through all the details. This is focused for beginners that are not familiar with the game to really get you a better feeling to see if this is a game that you may be interested in playing. This is a open world fantasy MMORPG for the Wax blockchain, Polygon, IMX, and also Binance, plus potentially future blockchains in the future. If you're a fan of MMO games like World of Warcraft, you might want to stick around and watch this video because this is essentially the Web 3.0 version of that. And plus, there's a lot of other benefits, a lot of other fun stuff. And the fun part of this is it's only an alpha, so we're still very early in the process. So please understand that this review will focus on the alpha side of it. Plus, at the end of it, I'll go ahead and give you some sneak peeks as far as what's coming up in the future for beta and over the next span of the next year. Also, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to go ahead and give you my personal opinion as far as the entertainment ranking. Please understand, and I'll say it again, I'll say probably about 3 more times, that this ranking, my overall rating of the game, is based on entertainment value. It's not based on ROI or anything like that. It's based on how much I enjoyed playing the game. I've actually gone in and played the game quite a bit, so I'm very familiar with it. So I'll go ahead and give you my rating, my pros and cons, some things that you may or may not enjoy about the game. So that'll all be here at the end, so stick around for that. Before we jump into the video, I know I have to do everyone's least favorite part of the video and let you know this disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please make sure you do your own research before you jump into any project. Don't take my word or anything that's said in this video as financial advice or advice in any way. I'm just a gamer playing a game and reviewing games as part of this. I am not telling you to jump in any project or anything along those lines. Do your own research. Make sure it's right for you. Go ahead and pause this video and read this thoroughly before we jump into it. All right, so let's get back to the video. All right, before we dive into the actual gameplay of it, let's talk a little bit about the game so you can understand what kind of game it is. If you want to go ahead and take a look at the website, it is at avalongame.io. I showed you a quick glance of that here at the beginning of the video. Again, the blockchains are Wax, Polygon, Binance, and Immutable X. It is a fantasy MMORPG. It's open world, so you can go anywhere in the world and really follow your own path within the world. Currently, it is client-based only, so you need to do a download in order to get the client on your PC, and you have to have a decent PC. It doesn't have to be out-of-the-world gaming machine, but in the future, they will have a streaming version of this, so you can go ahead and play through a website, similar to a lot of the other games that are on there, but an actual MMO, which is kind of crazy to think about it. That is a future item. You just have to have a great internet connection for that, but as of right now, for alpha, it is a client-based. Again, and from a mobile side of the house, once that streaming version is available, you'll be able to go ahead and play from iPads or any other mobile devices. A phone may be a little too small of a screen, but you can go ahead and try it. That's completely up to you. The alpha was launched in 2002, December 2002, right at the end of December. So it's been a little bit over a year where alpha's been out, and beta is right around the corner. So that'll be here in 2024 where beta will be released. And they're actually talking about hosting alpha and beta at the same time. There is no free to play, and there will not be a free to play. The only chance of free to play that may be out there is that some of the businesses, the forges and the temples, are maybe getting scholarships where they can go ahead and offer those to individuals that aren't quite ready to play the game. They are limited accounts, so it's not like it's a full free-to-play option. But as far as the free-to-play, they are not going to do that, and there's no plan to have that in there. And there is PvP in the game. There's actually a whole arena that they're going to go ahead and revamp. Within that arena, you can go ahead and fight others. They're going to have future tournaments down the road. But as of right now, you can go ahead and do PvP within the game itself. So the one question that we always get towards game is, do we know who the project team is? Is it someone that's completely invisible somewhere? That is not the case here. The team is completely doxed. It's backed by a studio called Daniel Games. Marius is always on. You can always see his face. He's always talking about he's the really leading. He's the face of the effort. They also have they have a team within them. It depends on the time frame of it. From what Marius says, the team can span anywhere from a few, 5, 6 developers all the way up to 20 plus, depending on what they're working on. They have a lot of people that are experts in the field and have been involved in other games that are very, very well known. I'm not going to do any name drops. You can do your research and figure that out, but there are some very well known games out there that you can go ahead and check out. Plus, they have, from a storyline and lore perspective, they have the Templar storyline advisor, who is Freddie Silva, who is like the most well-known expert as far as Templars go, helping contribute to really help this out. They also take a lot of pride in their music behind it and everything else that goes along with the storyline. So they have a good, solid team there that has a lot of experience within the gaming area. And quickly to talk about the community itself, you can go ahead and check out the Discord. You can jump in there. The project teams around there, probably about half the day. But as far as the community goes, there are a lot of people in there that are helping. There's always community events that are going on. As you can see here in the Discord, actually this Saturday, they're going to have a weekly horse race where you can go in the game and go ahead and compete for prizes as a community. They also, if you ask any questions in there or you go in game and you need any help, I guarantee if someone else is online that they're going to go ahead and help you with something that you may or may not need. So it's a really good community that goes along with the game itself. And last but not least, before we actually jump into showing you the game, I wanted to talk about the entry point. I actually did a full video on the entry point of this, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. But if you're looking to play alpha, and I'm stressing alpha, there's really 3 ways you can go ahead and get access to the game. The first way to get access is to go ahead and get a 7-day pass. That gives you just initial access to go ahead and try out the game to see if it's something that you may or may not be interested in. You don't get any benefits from it. You just get to play the game. You get to level up your character. That's it. Then they have the 30-day pass, which gives you 30 days access to the game, and it allows you to go ahead and earn gear NFTs. You also get daily badges if you run the raid 1. And those, if you get 21 of those in combination with the pass, you'll be able to exchange for a character. That gives you full access to beta and the actual game itself once it's eventually launched. And then the third way to go ahead and get access to the game is by grabbing one of the emerald passes, the gold passes, the silver passes, plus the equivalent badges that go along with them, 21 equivalent badges that go along with them, and that'll also give you access to the game. The one thing I do want to do a caveat here is make sure that if you get a 7-day or a 30-day pass, that it has not been activated, because if it's been activated for another account, it is no longer available to transfer to yours, even if it's not expired yet. And an easy way to go ahead and see if a pass has been activated, you can go ahead and drag over. You can see that on the bottom here. You see the name, description, and there's nothing underneath that other than the mint date. Same with here, but if you go over this one right here, you're going to go ahead and see activation date and expiration date. You can see that this has been activated. This one's actually expired, but again, if you see one that's activated and not expired yet, it can still not be transferred. So be careful that when you go ahead and look at a pass if you're looking to get into the game. Now let's go ahead and jump into the game where I can actually show you some footage. This is all pre-recorded stuff because I wanted to get a whole bunch of different areas of the game itself. So we're going to kind of fly through that. There's a number of different things that you can do in the game itself. It's the first Web 3.0 game that has flying mounts. And the cool thing about the flying mounts, if you get some of the dragons, they can actually battle against each other. There's 3 different types of dragons. There's fire dragon, water dragon, and ice dragon. And they all shoot out their different types of, elementals. And they can attack each other, and you can do PvP in the sky, which is kind of fun to see. So that they have that, plus other flying mounts. They have horse mounts. You can go ahead. They're going to eventually have water mounts. Right now they have boats that you can jump onto, but I think they're going to have some actual water mounts that you can own your own. So just from a mount perspective, that's something that you do not see right now in the Web 3.0 space from MMOs. You also have the ability to own just about anything in the game from a business perspective, home perspective, and the equipment that's out there. Like, for example, there's businesses available, forges, there's windmills, there's temples, there's stables, and so forth, all throughout the game. And there's going to be more continuing to be added as we go through the rest of alpha and beta. There are, if you go to the Avalon website or the Avalon YouTube, there are 3 videos that just walk you through straight through the businesses, if that's something that you want to go, if you just want to go the business route. The other way you can do is you can be a gamer. You can either be a team gamer where you're always playing with a group of people, or you can be a solo gamer and still be successful. There's some times where you're going to have to be with multiple people, for example, raids, not until you're actually a high enough level. But there's plenty of other people that are out there that are willing to help you and jump in. So we're going to show you a number of battle scenes. There's werewolf, there are titans. So there's a lot of different things that you're going to see come up on the screen here as far as different battles. There's questing. The quest line is right now it's kind of limited just because they're focused on getting the game actually active and playing, getting some of the raids available. Right now there's 3 raids in game. There's eventually going to be more raids that are again available. And as far as alpha goes, there is one massive island. They say the horse races take about 15 minutes on the fastest horses to go from one side of the island all the way to the other. Once beta gets rolled out, they're actually going to have multiple islands out there. There's ships going in between the 2 locations. It's going to be massive, which is really cool to see in a game this scale. And again, this is what you're seeing on the screen right now is just alpha. So we're only looking at alpha. We're only talking about alpha as part of this video. Once beta comes out, I'll go ahead and do a full separate video on that just to make sure that everybody's aware of that. And from a future state, they have a number of things that are coming here in the future. Like I said, with beta, the graphics that you see here right now are Unreal 4. If you're not familiar with that, it's just the way that it's what the game is built on. As far as beta goes, they're actually upgrading to Unreal 5, which gives a whole lot better of a look to it. Plus, it gives a lot more game features. You get weather that's going to be out there, and there's going to be swimming in certain parts of the game. It's just going to look a lot nicer once beta gets rolled out. And as I already mentioned, they're going to have multiple islands out there for beta. And then also the streaming is coming out here shortly for those people that don't quite have a beefy enough system, or they just want to play on mobile. That's going to be an option out there. Lots more businesses, a lot more buildings, a lot more space to expand to. And there's a lot of guilds that are getting pulled off. I forgot to mention that during the community side. There's full guilds that are coming into the game that are really working together to make this as much of a fun environment as possible. It's just a game that overall I enjoy. This is just a snippet. This is a very short one. I want to just give a very overview of the game itself. I have a lot of videos out there on my channel that really dive into each of the different sections. You can see full runs of the raid. You can see all the different businesses. You can see the different towns. You can own homes and different storage. There's a lot to the game that it would just take me hours to go through the process. If you're at all interested in this, I would encourage you to go ahead and take a look at my videos, take a look at the Avalon YouTube channel, check out one of the AMAs, just take a listen to it. So now that we've gotten to that, we're at the end here. We're going to go ahead and talk about my rating as far as the game goes, the pros and cons that I see for the game itself, and really kind of give you a better understanding from an entertainment perspective. Again, this is an entertainment perspective score, so please understand that. And when we eventually do the tiers of all the games on Wax, it's all from the entertainment perspective, not ROI, not any types of returns, just having fun within a game. So as far as the game goes, we've actually given this one a 5 stars. You probably saw that coming with the way I've been talking about it and all the videos that I've had. This is probably one of the very, very few games on Wax where I would consider it an S tier game. Top level and we're only in alpha. I keep saying that we're only in alpha. It resembles a lot of mainstream MMO games in their early stages. Avalon's in its early stage also. There's a lot of resemblance to, I keep saying it, World of Warcraft. There's some features that go along with it. There's other games that kind of resemble it also, but that's the most mainstream one that you're going to see. So that's one of the big pros, that it has a lot of potential that goes along with it, and they're making some really good moves within the game itself. It's constantly being developed. A lot of times when you have alpha out there, you're going to get just a few changes, a few updates, and they're really just testing to see if anything's broken. Then they move on to beta. They've been on alpha for, as I mentioned, slightly over a year now, where they've really been testing all the little parts and adding content almost on a every other week basis. There's even times where we were getting updates every few days. They have slowed it down a little bit because they're focused more on beta for the next couple months. But there's a lot to go ahead and do in the alpha, and that's why I wanted to go ahead and put it as one of the pros. The community is super supportive. As I mentioned earlier, if you have questions, you go in the Discord, you're almost always going to get someone that responds pretty quickly. It's not a huge community yet. It will grow. Or if you're in game and there's other people in game and you go ahead, I need help with it, raid 1, you'll probably have about 5 people go ahead and join you in raid 1 and try and help you through that or walk you through different areas of it. I'm also trying to do my part with videos to try and do walkthroughs and help you out through that process. Also, there is a deep entertaining lore that's going to go along with it. They have experts. Like I said, they have the #1 Templar expert in the world that's helping with the storyline. And they're going to continue to build that out with the questing. I think with beta, they're going to focus a lot more on the storyline and the questing side of things and really build that out a lot more for the solo gamers. Right now, they've been focused on the team gamers that are doing the raids. So there's a lot that's coming with that as far as the storyline, especially if you really enjoy the storyline of things. A few of the cons, these are all come with caveats depending on what you like in a game. As I mentioned, there's no free to play. It's a slightly higher than average cost, especially for Wax. Wax usually have a free to play option or a very cheap option to go ahead and get in the game. The cheapest option is that 7-day pass that I mentioned earlier, but to get real access, you're going to need the 30-day, which is roughly about $60, depending on when you're actually watching this. So it's a little bit higher of a cost to get in there, but they're also offering a lot more. It's not a clicker. It's not even a web-based strategy game. It is a full MMO that you can go ahead and dive in, earn NFTs and earn characters just with that 30-day pass. So it is a little bit of a higher price. They also have a longer roadmap. On Wax, we get under the illusion that games are created in a month. This development path is going for years. I think Marius has said multiple times it's going to be a solid 5 years till everything is rolled out there, but they're continuously bringing out different items to keep you interested in the game. So just understand that going to it. Every MMO game it wasn't built overnight, so it's built over a long period of time. Heck, World of Warcraft has been developed for almost 20 years now, if it isn't 20 years. So if you put in the grand scheme of things, it's not a huge con, but just the expectations of most people on Wax. You expect a game within a month, and if you're not getting a full game by that time frame, you think it's a rug pull, which this is not. So just my overall rating, like I said, it's 5 stars, S-tier style game. It's really got the strong potential of being one of the best MMORPG games on Web 3.0 and being able to compete with the mainstream once we get to that point in the roadmap. Probably once we get closer to the launch time frame. But as far as 3.0 goes, there are other MMOs in Web 3.0 that have a huge budget. I'm not going to name any names, and have put out less than this in years of development. So overall, I think it's a great game. If you have any questions about the game or you want any other videos, go ahead and put some comments down below. I'll be happy to go ahead and answer those. I have a lot of videos out there, and there will be a lot more videos around this because, again, I think this is an S-tier style game on the Wax blockchain that I'm going to continue to cover because I think it's just that good. So I hope this was helpful, especially for you new players that are coming into Wax or you existing players that are looking for a new game. I hope this was helpful. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.